Alright, not much of a title necessary for this one. This is part 2 of the elephant project for 3D design, also known as the dreaded legs. Now, some people do pretty well with this, and some people have some problems, and most of those problems either stem from unequal sized pieces or a lack of attention to the shoulder area or where the legs are bonded. So when you get your clay, I wedged mine into like a block, but then I cut mine into equalish sized pieces. They don't have to be perfect, just as long as they're close. Once you have those equal sized pieces, go ahead and start tapping them into something kind of round and cylindrical. You roll it between your hands, roll it on the canvas, whatever you need to do. It should be relatively thick because it needs to support the weight of the body of the elephant, so make sure that you don't make your legs too thin. Then you tap one end at a steep angle, and this angled section is where it's going to attach to the elephant body itself. So make sure that you make it large enough and thick enough that when you tap it, you don't get it super thin or anything like that. See, mine's about 3 inches compared to my body, which is also about 3 inches. Now the top part there is the shoulder. Like I said, it's that flat area that's going to pretty much disappear. And the bottom part of that is the actual leg length. So take that into account when making your legs. They look a lot longer before they're put on the elephant, and that's when they suddenly look real short. So it's usually best at this point to just make your other legs. It's a good idea to make all of them all at once and make sure that they're all roughly the same size. So again, tapping for that angle, double checking them against each other to make sure that they're roughly the same size. I'm just going to start with 2 legs for right now. Now, with the body, you need to paddle the bottom half of it into a flat 4-space area, just like this. This is so hard to describe with words, so I'm hoping that the video will help you out here more than my voiceover. But you need those to be angled inward, just to match the angle that is on the legs that you just made. Those flat sections are where the top part, or the shoulder, quote unquote, of those legs is going to attach. They shouldn't go too high. I kind of angle mine up a little higher. You don't want the angle to be too low either. The shoulder needs to blend into the body and it needs to look seamless. So then you need to check with your legs for sizing, because if you need to redo your legs, now would be the time to do it before you bother attaching them. So, if your legs are good, what we need to do next is slipping and scoring, just like we did when connecting these 2 pinch pots for the body. Be careful not to carve through the elephant's body, don't pop it, just get those kind of halfway shallow teeth. And spray some water, rub it in until you see that slip. Now we need to do the same thing with the legs, and more than likely, depending on how long you took to make your legs should be relatively plastic and flexible and wet at this point. So you might not need as much slipping and scoring as you would normally. But then you press and twist firmly, just a little bit to cement those together. And then you need to take the back of your needle tool, just like we did before, and blend that leg into the body. This is where that shoulder comes in handy. You should always have a bit more, I don't want to say meat, but meat in your shoulder, so that you can afford to lose some when you blend it into the body. Oftentimes I see a little divot or depression where the shoulder meets the elephant's body, and that's not good. Your shoulder does not cave inward where it meets with your neck. So instead, you need to make sure that you have enough clay at the top part of that leg and the shoulder area so that when you blend it, you don't lose a whole lot of clay. Plan on losing about 30% of the mass in that section. So then you need to take your needle tool and roll that inside seam away. You need to place the side of your needle tool in between the leg crease and the body and just roll it inward, and it'll pull some of the clay from that leg and blend it into the body seamlessly. If you have a seam or a crease there, that's a point of weakness, and we don't want that. So once you have that seam kind of rolled and smoothed out, you need to use your fingers and your wooden block to paddle it into shape and just smooth it out in general. Just take your normal amount of time and care and kind of finish it off. Make him look cute and smooth. And literally when you do this 3 more times. I don't know how else to say that. You gotta have 4 legs. So. So skipping ahead just a bit, I have finished all 4 legs and I haven't smoothed them all out yet, but one is longer than the other, so I'm going to take my knife and just trim off the top parts of these other 2 legs that I added, just to make them even. Be careful when doing this. If anything, just ask me for help. I will assist. And once you have all 4 legs attached, you're good to go for the next part of the project, which is the elephant's head, which might be one of the scariest parts of this. But we'll get through it. Good luck, everybody.